Hey guys, hey everybody, I'm here. Hey, wanted to show you real quick how to set up a Mosmatic hose swivel on your hose. The hose swivel will keep your hose from twisting up and binding and keep you from having to, untwist it as you're cleaning around a house or a building or even doing concrete cleaning. Every hose comes with two identical 3/8 threaded ends. One has a swivel that you can turn, the other doesn't. I always put my hose swivel on the end that does not already have a swivel on it. This just allows me to put a different, the other fitting on this side, and it gets a little swivel there as needed too. But you just simply take your hose and put it into a vise like this. And the way I always do it is I will put my swivel on first, right here. Of course, we're going to wrap this with some type of tape. I use the gray mega tape that you can get at Lowe's. But you're going to wrap your threads with that a couple times, and then I use this Loctite, and I just put a small little blob on it. I don't put a ton on it, just a little bit. But anyway, I put my swivel on first. The next thing I do is I put on a plug fitting like that. This way, if my ball valve ever goes bad or starts leaking or whatever, I can always take the ball valve off and still use the hose, and I can switch out the ball valve pretty easily. Some guys will take their ball valve and they'll screw it directly onto here, and that's okay. It's going to work, but my problem with that is if I ever have a problem with the ball valve, it starts leaking or whatever, I have to stop and disassemble this whole thing and get this ball valve off. So I always put a plug here at the top of the Mosmatic swivel. It's like that. And then I have my socket fitting, quick connect fitting in one end, and I always have the plug fitting on the spray end. For me, the way all of my fittings are set up is the plug points the flow of the water. So however the water is going on all my hoses, my machines, everything, this plug points the way of the water flow. That's just how I was taught early on. Okay, so now we would take this and put this on like so, and that's basically how it's gonna look. Hope you can see the top of that. So that's kind of how your Mosmatic swivel is gonna look, and that's gonna allow you to keep your hoses under control and keep them from twisting and binding. If they do twist a little bit, it's just a lot easier to untwist them or whatever. So that's basically how I do it. Again, I always like a plug here, then put on the fittings like that. That way I can just kind of always change this out. I can pull this off and always put a gun if you got your quick connect fitting here and put it on there and just keep right on going. So that's basically how you set it up. Again, you want to use tape on all your threaded fittings, and you want to use a little dab of the Loctite like this. Any of this kind of stuff you can get right here through our store. But that's basically how you do it. So if you have any questions on that, just let me know. But these are key parts of your hose system in order to maintain your hoses. They go a long way in maintaining the hoses because it keeps them from twisting, and it just makes for easier hose control for you out on the job site. So hose connection, Mosmatic, plug, and then your ball valve setup just like this. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys. Let me know if you have any questions.